Hi, Jane. Can you hear me? Thumbs up. Oh, there you go.
Yes, now I can.
Okay, great. So welcome to a Spiritual Inquiry once a month call. That's what it's been. That's what I expect it will continue to be, roughly, give or take a day or a week, depending on what's going on. You can find out when the next one is on my website at cindyteevens.com or alchemylovejoy.com. Alchemy, A-L-C-H-E-M-Y. A lot of people don't know what that word is, much less how to spell it. To me, it means final fundamental transformation, kind of like turning lead into gold, which for me, that really is what happened twice, actually. One time with just love and joy, that was transformative in a final way. And then again later with what I have been calling the direct seeing, for lack of a better word, because words don't go there. But it was a direct recognition, I could say, of who and what we in this world are. And when I say that, it makes no sense. Because who and what we in this world are, everybody knows and sees. It's just that we imagine that we are something different and separate. And the world is something different and separate. And that's where the error is made. So since I've already started, we're going to continue on. Whoever still will join, there might be up to 4 more people who may come in and come out. So welcome, everybody. Good to see some familiar faces here. And Gabriel, you're new. I hope I get to speak with you or something. Any questions can be asked directly or typed in the chat box. There's a little chat box here. If you don't want to actually speak, you can mouse over and you'll see a little chat icon. You click on that and then you can type in the side, and I'll be watching that for any messages there. So you don't have to come forth. But of course, if you do come forth, that's the most value and the most fun. So yeah, who and what we are.
Cindy, I just got an email about this in my inbox, but I wasn't quite sure how it related to the other class, and I assume I'm allowed to be on this call.
Absolutely.
Welcoming me.
Absolutely. I haven't kicked you out. Yeah, no, the class is allowed to come without donating. So you got the invitation. Well, you put your hand up, actually. You said, I would like to, on Facebook. Maybe you did it a long time ago and don't remember it, but there's an event there that you said that you were going to. So I said, oh, okay, Jane. So
Okay, now I remember what event it is. Okay.
Very good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So otherwise, this is by donation. So for anybody, completely open. So I think everybody here saw the Bat Gap video, right? Well, I don't know about Gabriel, but yeah, 2 nods, good. And then there was the leftover questions from Bat Gap. Did you see that one? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Very
So,
good.
yeah, all good. So I'm just going to throw it open. Are there any burning questions about anything whatsoever? Hey, our other visitors back, or will be in the room in a moment.
That's just me.
Me.
Yes, I can't get the audio on the computer, so I've decided to just do this by phone. I went back on the phone.
Okay, can I get your first name?
Gabrielle.
Oh, it is Gabrielle. Oh, we have
Yeah.
you in twice. We have 2 of you here.
Oh dear.
That's just fine. Just fine. Thanks for joining us.
Great.
I have a little bit of an echo since you joined.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off my computer then, and I'll just do the phone. I think that's what the problem is.
Maybe, and if it doesn't go away, we'll just mute you unless we're talking together.
And how do I tell you if I want to talk? Like, go ahead. go ahead and mute me.
Yeah, I don't know what the code is for the phone to unmute. It might be *8 or 9 or something. So
Oh,
I'm gonna mute.
star.
I'm gonna mute and go see if you can let go of that other line in, because maybe it is the cause of the echo.
Okay, the number to. Okay, stars.
I have muted you, Gabriel, and go ahead, and if you can disconnect that, go ahead. Yeah, Pierre?
I just thought of a burning question.
Oh, yay, okay.
So can you speak a bit more about what happened when you saw, I forget exactly how you said it, but you saw who you really were? What was the direct recognition?
Yeah, what was it? Okay. So.
Good question.
And a further kind of add-on burning question is, why did it stick?
Yeah, good one. Yeah, good one. Okay. You know, it didn't stick right away. It didn't, and it was so impactful. The first answer would be it was so impactful. I mean, what was seen didn't leave, okay? That stuck. However, I'll just tell you from Pierre's question forward. So what happened was I was seeking to know, what is God? And I was not religious. Okay, but to me, God came to mean the mystery, the unknown, that which is not me, something else. Because we have our sense of self, right? In this world, which is very big. And so then there's this question mark of, what is that? How did I get here? Where do I go from here? And all these kinds of questions arise out of this idea of being a separate individual inside something. And I didn't have any other word, and the best word I had for this mystery was God. So that's the word I was using, but it was more than that. And it certainly wasn't an idea of a separate being sitting up on a cloud in judgment of any sort. I just had no space for this idea of a separate being who sat in judgment, who was there before me, who made me, etc. You know the story. So I was seeking this, but not at this point with anger. I did that before. Okay. If there's a God, show yourself. How come you're la 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 la? And give up on that. Okay, that clearly goes nowhere, and I get very, I suffer with that. So this time I was seeking it with love, actually. I fell in love with love itself, and I accepted that, you know, God is love, love is God. So, and we get a lot of noise from you, Pierre. I don't know if it's your mic or what. So if you're not asking, maybe that's a good idea. Thank you. I'm seeking God with, I want to say affection, with love, with desire, as opposed to demand. And I wanted to know the mysterious. I wanted to know that which I didn't know. And not just as a thought, not as a belief, not as a hope, but I wanted to directly know. I guess I'd gotten a taste of what is the difference between direct reality and an idea, a concept, a hope. And I found that ideas, concepts, words, hopes just don't satisfy. You just can swap one belief for another, for another, for another, and they never satisfy. So I was out there seeking to know the mystery and doing some meditative walking and a lot of indulging in love joy that I had learned to indulge in. And then the thought came, well, God is everywhere. Turn over a stone. God is everywhere. I'd heard that somewhere. Sounds biblical to me, but. And then the thought came, well, if that's true, and this is what I would do, I would accept it on faith. Okay. And then would come the but. And this is what happens for everybody. I may say to you, there's no separation. And you'll go, okay, let's accept that on faith and try that on. And you'll go, but. So you bring up your proof that shows you that there is separation. So God is everywhere. How come it's not obvious? I wanted it to be obvious. I wanted to see this obviously, without doubt, without question. Came back. God is the source, comes before everything else. Is subtle as opposed to obvious. I'm looking for obvious. It's subtle. That's okay. Then the question arises, well, I start to question my own questions because I learned to do that too. I learned how important that is. So my question was, how come it's not obvious? So wait a minute, what am I calling obvious? What is obvious to me? And that is, well, trees, rocks, flowers, leaves, very obvious to me. And I went, but wait a minute, obvious is what? Like, obviously here, but nobody knows how it got here, how it came, something came out of nothing, right? And as I looked at everything and saw the miracle of it all, directly saw the miracle of it all, it hit me, here's my power of authority, that it's obvious, but nobody knows how, and it is a miracle. It is a mystery, and I realized it is God. And that was including everything, right? Everything is God. And where am I? Am I outside of that everything? Again, my power of authority said no. And so what collapsed was separation. And that's when the explosion of love hit the head and the chest, and, you know, the whole crying, laughing story knocked me to my knees. The intensity of love knocked me to my knees, crying. And I look up at the trees and now see they are me. That doesn't mean I saw little Cindy's hanging in the tree. Okay? It means that we have an essential I that we limit to this body mind and say is separate from somebody else's essential I. We think there's many I's. This is imagination. You've never seen another I. All you've ever seen is I. You cannot be without I. You've never seen two eyes together. And what I mean by that is your essential I, not a body. You see different bodies. This is fine. Okay. But your I-ness. And so I saw, when you see what you see without a sense of me here and something else over there, all you see is all there ever has been, which is one I. So this sense of I-ness that you have, if you were in the group, oh, you were in the group, Jane, you know the work that we did looking at plants. We'll revisit that. This sense of I that you have is everywhere, all times. There's no place or time it is ever not. If you look and check, you'll see this is to be true. So what happens is we have an overlay of other than me. And that's what we see. We see the illusion of other, where there isn't any. So in that moment, speech fell away. I went to say it's me, but that I was gone. So in that moment, how can you say it's me when the I who used to think there's a me and other is gone? Can't be said. then just, laughter ensues. Speech entirely left, but direct knowledge did not. Direct knowing, immediate, doesn't need speech. It's like touching a stove. You know it's hot. You don't need the thought to tell you it's hot. But after some time, not too long, thought came back. This thinking I came back, and I saw it and heard it way over there to the left. There was an overwhelming sense of I, like never before. Diamond hard, rock solid. And there was this little weak I over there talking, going, well, and I was like, I know who I am. Who the hell are you? It didn't answer. Why? Because it's not a you. It's not a who. It's just a broken record playing. It has no identity of its own. And I could care, and I went on, It was only a week or two later that I realized, wait a minute, I was looking for God. I didn't find God. Not as a separate being. But it is said that when you seek yourself, you find God. When you seek God, you find yourself. There's a reason, because they are not two. What is God to everybody is what I just described earlier, is me and everything else, not me. So we've drawn the line, the boundary that says me. And because we've drawn the boundary that says me, we automatically must make not me. And which is greater? Me is very finite, very limited, very local. Not me is everything else, and it's vast and it's huge. So basically, the mystery, God, is your leftovers. You have exiled God. You've exiled the world and others. So what happened? The voice came back, okay, and got louder and louder. And it was about a week later, found myself doing inquiry again. But now I know something I didn't know before. So my inquiry had a lot more strength. And identification with this thinking being was finally broken once and for all. It just folded in on itself, just collapsed. I was in the woods again, asking, who am I? And answering and asking and answering and asking ad nauseum, until I came to realize all of these are thought. That's what they all have in common. The content sounds different. I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a whatever, na 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 na. And then I came to, no, I'm not that. I'm not a sister, I'm not a friend, I'm not that. So there was all the positives, and then there was all the negatives. And then it was, they're all thought. Am I a thought? The question came up, am I a thought? Looking back at myself in the trees, as the trees, am I a thought? No. That was the end of that. So I could see how some people could have an insight and not have one of these two parts. One of them is missing. What you are, what you're not. What you're not is very easy to discern. Very easy. It's a thought, it's a picture, it's a movie, it's an image, it's something in the mind, a movie in the mind. It has I, me, mine in it. It has other in it. It has past and future in it. There's so many red flags. There's so many ways to easily discern, not me, not me. And this needs to be done. What you are is because it's unlimited, you can never know. You can never say, I am this. The minute you say, I am this, what have you done? Just like you said, I am this. You have drawn a boundary or barrier where there isn't any. That said, just because you can't say what you are doesn't mean you can't know. Thought is not direct knowledge. Thought is thought. Full stop. Did I answer both your questions? Yeah, you're muted, Pierre, but yeah, if there's anything left, let me know. Okay. I have a question here from Gabriella. Could you please talk about grace and the role it's playing in awakening? I have a nagging thought that it doesn't matter what I do. If it's not in my karma to awaken in this lifetime, it won't happen. Well, I'm glad you noticed it's a thought. Okay. Thoughts nag. The truth is just the truth. Thoughts come and go. It's not there all the time. This kind of thought doesn't serve you. Okay. What would serve you much better would be something like the truth is the truth. It's always the truth. It's here now. I am not other than it. I should know it now. Now. So I became irrationally impatient. You know, you may have heard things like, oh, it takes so many lifetimes, or if it's my karma, it'll happen, blah, blah. Apparently it's your karma to be here on this call to hear this. So it's your power of authority that is, I think you want to say something, so I'm going to, oh, you're not muted. Do you want to say something, Gabriella?
Oh,
There you
well,
are.
I'm just really appreciating that you're answering my question, that I have an opportunity to ask it, and I love your answer so far, so just keep going.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very,
good.
very grateful.
Very good. Thank you. So, yeah, I put out an email yesterday, that said you are only one realization away from what you seek. One realization. Truth is simple, and it is here. This is why you hear a lot of teachers say, you don't have to do anything. On the one hand, yes, because it is the truth and it is what is. On the other hand, why don't you see it? This is a good question to ask yourself. Why don't you see it? I'll say, there is no separation, and you'll go, yes, but. Okay. And it's that yes, but that is the most important thing. That is your power of authority, full-on action.
Okay.
And that yes, but is your doubt. You don't see it because you doubt. Can you get rid of doubt with faith? No. Faith can bridge. Okay. Faith lets you doubt. Okay. So you have faith that there is no separation. Good. Now doubt. Doubt your doubt. Doubt your doubt. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to use your power of authority against your power of authority. That's what faith lets you do. Okay, let me try it on, just like I did. I was in the woods. God is everywhere. Really? Okay. If that were true, let's say it is. Okay. How come it's not obvious? So here's my doubt. And so that sounded like a question, didn't it? How come it's not obvious? It's not a question. And if you try to answer your doubts, that come in the form of a question, that won't work. There is no such thing as a question. There's only a statement of what you already know, or what you think you already know. Okay, so you have said, boom, this is the way it is. I am me and you are you, and the world is the world. You may have acquired a lot of this from other people, you know, the people who say you were born. I was there, I saw you, you were born. Well, certainly I'm not arguing a body was born because that person identifies with their own body. They think you are your body also because they think they are a separate being, and so are you now. And so you inherit this. And it's never questioned because everybody's telling the same story. Everybody's separate and everybody was born differently, and you are not the same. You are other than me. Ugh. Tastes bad to say that. Lie, it's a lie. And so there's this collective unconsciousness. We all agree that we were all special, separate, individual, autonomous. Isn't that what we think we are? You have control over things, you make decisions. Yeah, this is what needs to be questioned. This is what seems so obvious and so it's never questioned. Do you really make decisions? Do you think you decided to be here today? Like that there's a you that made it happen? You know, never mind the fact your internet had to be up or your phone had to be working. You had to be in good health. Somebody didn't come in with an urgent matter that you had to leave for. So many things that happened and didn't happen made this call happen. That's what made this call happen with who's ever here. Not a you who decided to be here. That's a story. That's a fiction. And if you notice, this I always comes after the fact. Yeah, it's sort of from the past. It says, "Oh, I decided to join that call that night." Or I decided not to join that call that night. For you people who did register and didn't show up, and you may have thought you decided not to. Even if some thoughts came up that said, I think I want to watch a movie tonight. Was it a you? Or was it unconsciousness? Was it one thought hooked to the next thought, hooked to the next thought? Was there a you making it happen? And you look really hard and close on this, you can't find a you that made it happen, independent of the rest of the world, independent of the thoughts that came before it, or the feelings, or the events. Is there an independent you? This kind of questioning usually doesn't happen. So this I who thinks it's responsible and it did or didn't do something or did or didn't cause something is the same one that'll say, it's my karma, it's my karma. The story of your karma.
Right.
So we become involved with the idea and the moving the mind to who we think we are, and we're limited to that. So whatever's been stored on that hard drive from the past, from what your parents told you about you, from what you accepted about you, from past experiences, that's where you live from as that character. Someone will ask you, who are you? You go, wait a minute, I gotta go check, right? You go and you check the hard drive. You come back with your answer.
Right.
And that story on the hard drive keeps changing. Sometimes you have a good story about you. Sometimes you have a bad story about you. If it were you in the bad story, how can it be you in the good story? Is this you just allowed to morph? If you morphed all the time, how would you know you have a you?
Yeah, Cindy. Yeah, can I speak?
Yeah, please.
Can you hear? You can hear me.
Very
Yeah.
well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just that I've listened to the non-duality stuff, for so many years now. I mean, you just can't imagine the hours I've spent.
I bet.
And oh my goodness. And intellectually, I totally get it. I believe it, and I totally believe it. But my thoughts are just there, and the stuff from the past, I don't know, whatever's in my unconscious mind, and I just have doubts, will I ever break through? Because I don't apply the so-called discipline,
I who?
because I don't catch myself, I
I
guess,
who? I
often
who?
enough.
I who?
Yes.
I want to ask I who.
Yeah.
So you're telling me a story of I right now, right? Of what you haven't done in the past and therefore what you don't do in the future?
Yeah.
Where are you getting that from? Are you noticing where that's coming from? Before I
Right
interrupted you,
now?
I interrupted you, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Before I
Yes.
interrupted you,
Yes.
what were you seeing, hearing?
Yes, I kept saying I, this
And
personality
where were you looking?
person. Where?
Yeah.
It's all in my mind, it's coming from my thoughts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I
when
see
you,
that. Yeah.
good. And when you talk about having been to so many satsangs and listened to
Yeah.
where's that coming from?
Well, my memory bank, of things that
Yep.
I've done, that I've,
Yep. It's totally your
thoughts
memory
I've
bank,
had.
right? So for a moment, don't touch that.
Okay.
Okay. Don't go to your memory bank. Don't go to the
Okay.
mind. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I just had a nice deep breath there, and
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh, okay. So what do I do now?
That's a funny question. Are you finding that there's really nothing to do?
God, it's like that. I don't know how to describe that. It's I don't want to use the word limbo because that seems to be devoid of anything.
Was there anything? Was there anything missing? Is there anything missing in this so-called limbo?
Wow. Is there anything missing? Well, I'm still sitting here. I can still speak.
Yeah. I imagine your heart is still beating and you're still breathing.
I am. Oh, Cindy, it can't be that simple. I know as soon as I hang up, it's all going to come back. Okay, I've set that now. Okay, that's a part of me that needs, because it's
Where
the
did
old
that come
program,
from?
right? It doesn't matter what, like the same, what I said before.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Gabriel,
so.
where did that come from just now? As soon as I hang up, where did that come from?
I guess the fear that this could not possibly last. No?
What were you doing? Where were you getting that
doing?
from?
Oh, God, I guess I let a thought come in and I expressed it.
It's okay, a thought can come in. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Are you noticing your feet right now?
I am now.
Now that I mentioned it, yeah? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So do you notice that where that came from again was the mind, movie in the mind?
About my feet?
No, about as soon as I hang up.
Oh, the difference between, yes.
Yes.
Yes, that was definitely a thought that somehow I just have a feeling that there's a part of me
Are you
that
doing it
wants
again?
to cling, my ego wants to
Are you doing
cling
it again?
to that.
Are you doing it right now?
Is that what I'm doing right now?
Are you feeling your feet?
Okay. Yes, I'm feeling.
Okay.
Yes, my
So
feet.
for a moment, don't touch that mind, okay?
Okay.
Now, where's that part of you? Does it
Not
exist?
there.
Yeah.
Not there. If I don't put my attention on it, right? Oh, wow. Okay. So I just need to remember to do, to put that into practice every moment that I can be aware of that.
Don't make it into a story. Become a lover of reality, okay? And reality is what actually is. So what actually is going on here right now?
Okay.
Do you know?
Oh, I'm just an aware being.
No,
I'm
that's a
aware.
movie. That's what
That's
is actually going on here. I didn't ask you who you were.
Oh.
Just what's actually going on right now.
I'm having a conversation.
Yeah.
With you.
Yes, you're sitting or standing or whatever, right?
I'm sitting holding the phone.
Yes.
And
you can feel your feet, your hands, the phone.
Yes.
Your breath.
Yes.
That is what's going on, okay?
Okay.
Anything else is a story. Everything and anything else is accessing the movie in the mind.
Wow.
And so it all falls away. And yes, the thought, is it that simple? Can come up. Okay. Some thoughts are in alignment with truth, but they're still not truth themselves.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Yes. Not touching a thought. You are noticing what is. And a thought can come in and you can notice a thought, but you don't have to engage in it. Give it your power of attention, give it interest, go and perpetuate it. Research it. Ad nauseum.
Like Lifetime? Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you become a lover of reality. You put what is right now above everything else. So you have to recognize what actually is. And there's a huge contrast between what actually is and the movie in the mind, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh.
It's you and me and a few people here, but you got a story about having done this a lifetime and you're never going to be able to. As soon as you hang up that phone, you've got a whole story going on that hasn't happened and isn't happening. Such a relief when you drop it, isn't it?
Huge. Whew. So
shed it all.
So
all of it. Leave nothing behind.
Nothing.
Ever.
What about the beautiful thoughts that come up? Like, I love nature, I love trees and animals, and
they're always an echo.
And
aren't they? You go out in the woods.
Yeah.
You see something and some love comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It already is. You're already experiencing it. It already is. And then comes the thought, oh, I just love nature.
Yeah.
Like, thank you, Peanut Gallery. I already knew that. Like, it's already here, right?
So, yeah. And so what do you, I have so many questions
Go
for
for
you,
it.
Cindy.
If somebody else has a
it's like,
question, raise your hand or whatever.
oh,
Jump in.
please don't let me take the whole show.
No.
It's just that, when I see what's happening in the world and the cruelty, the animal,
Are you feeling your feet?
stuff like
Are you
that.
are you feeling your feet?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's
Are you
happening,
seeing?
and
Are you?
I
Wait a minute.
can't ignore all that stuff. Like I can't just
Where
turn
is
my.
that stuff right now? Where is it?
It's happening where it's happening.
You said, when I see what's going on, and you're talking about now, I presume, because you're getting all riled up. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
True.
But is this animal
It's
cruelty
happening.
not happening in your living room?
No. It's in my mind. I know. It's a thought in my mind.
If it were happening in your living room, what would you be doing?
Would be dealing with it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be sitting there going, oh, I just hate all this animal cruelty.
No, I would be doing something.
That's right.
Yes, but we feel so helpless because what do we do? Like, are you saying, okay, you're saying that we're only responsible for dealing with what's in front of us, that is our well, not responsibility, but
Just
if
imagine
what
it. Just
crosses our
imagine.
path.
Yeah, just imagine if everybody did that.
Yes.
Just imagine if everybody actually took care of what was right in front of them. I'm talking
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. Like simple recycling, stuff like that. If
Like,
everybody did their
whatever
little
it
bit.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
simple recycling or it's a child starving. You're in the presence of a child starving. Right? You're in a country that food isn't getting through. If everybody took care of everybody and the moment that was right in front of them. You know why we don't do it?
Why?
Because we're in the story in the head. Right?
Yeah.
Story in the head. But if I do that, I'm going to have less. But if I do that, I'm not going to be able to. But if I do that.
Yeah. It's just that I feel that I have such a privileged life. I have all the food I need, shelter, I've got a car, I've got a career. I have everything that I
So
could
why are you
possibly
suffering in
want
your
or need.
mind? Why are you wrecking it by
I
suffering
feel like
in
I
your
should
mind?
be doing more than just trying to figure all my stuff out, just.
If that were true, you'd be doing more.
If that was true,
If that
I'd
were
be
true for
doing.
you, if that was the most important thing for you, you'd be doing more.
Yes, but the mind says I should be doing more. I'm selfish for not doing more,
But if that were true for you, you'd be doing more. You wouldn't be sitting here imagining about the pain and how you're not doing anything. And right, people that feel they need to do something, they get up and they go do it.
True.
To sit there on your couch in all your luxury and moan and groan in your head doesn't do anybody any good, does it?
No.
Not you, not anybody else.
Okay, so it's just coming from guilt, and that's a story in the mind.
All a story in the mind.
It all is.
The absolute best thing you could do for this world is to wake up.
That's what I want, Cindy. That's why I'm on this call.
Yeah, good for you. And
totally.
So to do that, you have to stay out of the mind. Okay, you have to notice and discern when the movie is running. Just doing that is enough to just diffuse the whole thing. Oh, it's another movie. The minute you notice that, oh, another movie's running, what have you done? You've withdrawn your power of interest, your power of attention, right? And your power of authority. You're no longer saying that is real and true, and therefore I have to be stressed about it. I have to be anxious. I have to suffer about it.
Right.
I have this feeling that if there was something for you to do in front of you, you'd be doing it. You wouldn't be moaning about it.
Right.
Is it true?
I like to believe that's true, yes.
I think that's probably generally how you function. And so is there a lack of responsibility here? Is there guilt here? In truth. That's what guilt comes from, right? Lack of taking action on that which is actionable. Okay, imagination is not actionable except coming out of it, dropping it. That is the only action you need to do. You need to wake up out of it.
Yes. Wow.
Once you wake up out of it, then you're free. Maybe you'll do something. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll do something else than what mind is telling you should have done. Who knows what you should or shouldn't be doing? But you're not free to know this when you are running the broken record.
Yeah.
Living
Yeah.
the broken record.
Yes, I know that. I know that to be true.
When we go into suffering, we are useless to others.
Totally. So it's just simple, isn't it? Once we wake up, then whatever we're meant to be doing, and I'm not sure if I'm using the right word by saying meant to, but whatever this body, mind, spirit came here to do, it will do automatically without hesitation.
Are you feeling your feet?
No, it was like doing it again. Oh, really?
Really?
I went into my mind again. Oh, cheapers. Okay.
Did you? Just checking. Don't worry, most people live there. Jane has a question. Okay, Jane.
Is it okay to, are you still going on that?
Wherever you want to go, we go.
On that track.
Thank you. I'm done. Thank you so much.
She's not going anywhere, so yeah, okay.
Okay. Thanks. So I have a question about how to remain in that state of being a lover of life, as a lover of reality, as you said.
Things get a little convoluted, can't they? Yeah. And you can lose your sense of reality at sometimes with this, but so that's why you need to stay in the senses, right? So you stay out of the story. So because there's a reaction in the body and there's a contraction and there already is a sense of I, it might get even more strong, right? Me, this is me, and I have to defend me and you against you. So it may beef up the separate sense of you. You may beef yourself up using that, but it doesn't trigger it as if it wasn't there before, and now it's here, and now what's wrong with me, and how come I can't do this? I had it, and now I don't. All the movie in the mind playing, right? Continuously playing. It's all the same stuff. So fear is okay. It should be there. It's going to give you some.
It's going to make me act.
It should give you an adrenaline rush, right? Which will put you're on heightened awareness. But what it can sometimes do is instead you go into the mind and so you know heightened awareness is of the mind, right? Instead of what is. So you can have heightened awareness of what is if you take that energy and put it into the senses, all of them simultaneously. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what will remind you to do this, hopefully, is the pain or the fear, whatever the bad feeling is, okay? So it's not that you forget that we're all one. Throw that idea out. You can't forget what you don't know, okay? Throw that out. It's that you contract onto this, right? And you feel that tension right away. And if you get used to doing the opposite, exactly what you just did, open. Okay. Perfect. That's right. Just open. Okay. Contracting doesn't help you. Okay. We think it does, but all it does is tense the body, and you can't really move the body very well when you're all tense anyway, right? So you can be on alert, but open,
Mhm.
ready to move, right? Yeah. So instead of the habitual getting ready, get in the habit of completely opening. You'll feel safe. Okay. You may have a chance of recognizing, okay, not other than me. And at any point, whether this is happening or something else is happening. So it's this habit of using the pain or the fear or whatever, the sense of other, when you recognize it, to instead open and come to your senses. It is really hard to have a sense of other when you do that.
Mhm. Well, I've been practicing that, whenever I feel pain for the last few weeks. If I wake up in the morning and I
Good.
think, oh no, and I immediately I catch it as a thought.
Right on. Yeah.
And it feels like the thoughts are somewhat thinning out. Like more of the day is just spent in peace.
Nice.
And then I'll realize, oh, I haven't even worried about anything for seemingly hours. And
Congratulations.
so it's like it's thinning,
That's
the
a good
grip
term.
or something,
Yeah, it's thinning.
or the density.
Your habitual state is more open because you're not buying into the movie and contracting on it. You're just like, oh, look at that, another side. Oh, that's great. That's great work. Great work. Yeah, and thinning is a great way. Kind of thinning to me, kind of, if you're contracted, it's very thick and dense, right? When you're open, it's very, and then there's not so much stickiness, hookiness into stuff. It's a great practice. And whenever you have a sense of other, another great practice is, I. Just stay with I. If you hold I, there's no space for other.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that could be very beneficial to you in that situation. Okay, so first thing comes up, you see him come up. Oh, right away, sense of other, right? As soon as you notice that sense of other, and it's a contraction, I. Just stay with I. And it's like you're holding a pole. In India, they take elephants apparently through the market, but with a nose that isn't busy, it could grab bananas and fruit and all kinds of things, right? And they don't want that to happen, of course, so they give the elephant a pole to hold on to. So they can go through the market, no problem, because I got this pole, right? I can't get anything else because we're kind of busy here, right? This is what you do with your eye. You grab I, okay? You stay only with I. You can't grab anything else, just I. So you could try that on right now. You could imagine him coming to the door and you stay with I.
I have to do it not obviously though, because if I do it I've tried to do this many, many times, but if he thinks that I'm trying to practice self-inquiry while he's trying to get mad at me, it makes him a million times madder,
How could he know?
This
is a thing that goes on internally. He can't know what you're doing in the privacy of your own nervous system, but you could imagine he knows. And this is another story going on, wouldn't it? Yeah. So no matter what he does, no matter what happens on the outside, you stay with I. Okay. Practice it with little things. Pierre has a question. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Pierre.
I can go, yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are really two of them interventions were very touching, actually. I wanted to ask you something about about a month and a half ago we had a private session together and talking about separation. I forget exactly what we were saying, and at one point you looked me straight in the eye like that, and you said, "Is there any separation?" And I looked at you. And I didn't use my mind, and I felt it. I felt no separation. And if you remember, I started laughing hysterically for, I don't know, 5 minutes or 10, whatever.
Yeah, I remember.
And I just want to know, so I call that a glimpse. So how come stuff like that doesn't last? I mean, this is a million dollar question, but or what can be done. I know you've given some pointers about what to do, what to practice for that. But
yeah. So yeah, a glimpse, I call it a recognition. So you have these recognitions of truth. You can have many, because we have so many lies, right? Self, other, distance, like it's a story is everything in a story, which is mostly how people live, is a lie, because it's not real, it's just a story. And so when you have a glimpse of something that goes against the story, right? You directly see the truth of it. It's like, it stuns you for a moment, and it can bring laughter, of course, because we have this tension of this is, you know what comics do? I learned how comics make people laugh. They have this tension, they build up tension, right? And then they do something to like release the tension, and then you laugh because of this tension release. And this is what happens with these recognitions. You've got this tension of I, and you really think there's you, and then suddenly you for a moment you see there's not, and you're still like, right? It's very funny. So what happens though? You have a glimpse, but you still have your power of authority.
Yeah.
Operating. So for a moment you get a glimpse, but power of authority has not been annihilated. Okay, you still believe. You believe that this is the way it is. There's self and other, and so you get a glimpse of it, and it's funny and all that. But yeah, okay. You're just gonna maybe put that aside. That was just a glimpse. It wasn't the real thing, maybe,
Yeah,
right?
it wears off, the effect or whatever.
You see, it won't wear off if you stand up for the truth. This is part of what being a reality lover it is. So reality lovers look for what is real and true. And when you find it, you stand up for it. So you could have one glimpse and a recognition, oh my God, there's no separation. And you stand up for that. And other thoughts are going to come in. Yeah, but you go, yeah, no. But yeah, no. I now know. So none of these can be true. You have to uphold it.
It's like a kind of inquiry.
It's kind of a comparison. It's a contrast between what you know to be real and true and the thought about, what's real and true. And thank God I did this. After the direct seeing, mind could have easily said, but it's gone, you don't see it anymore. But no, I know this is to be true. I came back and checked again. And I kept, what about this? If you listen to Adyashanti and his experience, he had a very similar experience. And he did the same thing. He went around, well, what about the wall? What about the floor? Oh, wait a minute. What about the toilet?
The toilet.
Like, really, the toilet? Right? I was like, yeah, even the toilet, right?
Yeah.
So it's, you know it to be true. And so now you look for the truth rather than the false. Okay? Now you have to uphold it. I know it's true. And so you look again. And a week or two later, that's what I was doing. I was like, oh my God, yeah, it is there. And that. Like it hasn't gone, the truth hasn't left.
Yeah.
Can't leave.
I remember accessing it just by looking into your eyes and just no thought. I said, okay, let go of the thoughts. At first the thoughts, the separation. As soon as I let go of the thoughts for 30 seconds or so, there was the recognition.
Yeah, thought has to stop.
Yeah.
And the questions I led you up to are important. We did an exercise in the group last week with the plants, and some people are like, what am I supposed to do with the plants? Somebody had to go and buy a plant, right? What am I supposed to do with the plants again? Am I supposed to see them as me or something? I went, you've got to go back and replay that. And those series of questions are asked in a particular, it leads you from step to step to step. What it does is use your power of authority against yourself. And if you want to go and study it from that perspective, Jane, you can see it where, so I'll ask you, do you have a sense of I? Right? Get you established with that. Do you have a sense of I, everybody?
Yes.
I'm going to unmute Gabrielle in case she's not able to unmute herself and has been wanting to talk all this time. Sorry.
Okay.
So, she muted herself again. Did you know you can do that?
Sorry.
Oh,
Okay. Here I am.
oh, good. Are you able to mute and unmute?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes. I just, yes, we're good.
Okay. So does everybody have a sense of I? Yeah?
Yeah.
You can't get rid
Yeah.
of it, right? Like, well, ultimately you can, but right now, no. This is like you can get rid of all the thoughts and the feelings, say not me, not me, not me, but me, I remains. That's your power of authority. I'm just checking with you, and you say yes, 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 yes. So you're applying your power of authority, right? And then I say, okay, do you have a plant, something you can look at? Plants work really well. If you don't have one, you can borrow the one in my back here, yeah. Right? Then I say, okay, looking at that plant, can you remove your sense of I?
No.
No. No.
Jane?
You mean from the plant?
You see, I didn't even specify, but so I let you do that, right? So looking at the plant, I'm not saying there is a sense of I there, but there is a sense of I, yes? Yes?
In me, yes.
Yeah, you have a sense of I.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice that you have a sense of I and that the in me part is added? Can you have a sense of I without going in me?
Yes.
Don't touch that. Just, can you find your sense of I? Okay, good. Keep that sense of I and look at a plant. Okay. Can you remove your sense of I?
No.
No.
Is the plant devoid of the sense of I?
No.
No.
Jane? So you followed me up to what point? You have a sense of I, yes? Looking at the plant, you have a sense of I. Just, there is a sense of I, pure, just I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at the plant, can you remove this sense of I?
No.
No.
Okay. Is the plant devoid of I?
No, it's
No.
one and the same. We're yeah,
Yeah,
we're not separate.
not separate.
Right.
No.
If you don't think that your I is located somewhere and it's attributed to a body, you'll notice it is everywhere. Okay, this is what I saw. I is all there is.
But why do we never think we're someone else?
No, you can't think you're someone else. You can't take your
But why
I
do I
and make it into
never
their
experience
I.
myself? But I mean, I never experience myself. I very, very often experience myself as this person, which I know is a myth, but is not true.
Yes.
But I never, ever experience myself as
Really?
a stone out in my garden or as my son.
Okay, never, ever. This is powerful authority, isn't it? I never, ever. Okay, and it's
But
not.
never once in my life have I looked out at the world from the point of view of, let's say, a leaf in the garden and mistaken myself for that leaf.
No, that's not what happens. You don't take your consciousness and dump it into a leaf's consciousness and look out at everything as a leaf sees it. This is not what we're talking about here. I'm glad you brought this up. Let's be very clear. But let me ask you this. Can you separate my words from your hearing?
No.
No.
So it's not true that you never, ever. Let me not take that leap so quick. Can you separate my words from your hearing?
Not at all.
So whose words are they?
Oh,
Ah,
well, are they your words or words that you mean I'm projecting you
yeah, and that's
in
not
my
going to, now
mind?
this is all
No?
imaginary.
Oh, that's imagine. What? But
So,
wow. Okay.
yeah, so let's slow it down. I don't think you've ever heard this question before live, Gabrielle. The other two, I think, have. So,
Okay.
can you separate my words from your hearing?
No.
So, can they be my words? Solely my words?
No.
We can't separate you from our sight either.
Very good. Exactly. So, is it solely my face? Jackpot. It goes for all your senses. Hearing is the easiest one to start with. Seeing, touching, tasting, feeling, sensing. Anything that you sense is experienced where?
In awareness.
This is a thought, but let's be more direct. You're holding a mug, let's say. Okay? If you're holding a mug, your hand is feeling it. You're feeling the weight, the temperature, right? It's being perceived where? This is
Your
very
brain.
direct. Brain, here, in here. Science isn't even sure if there is an out there. This is where they're at with it. They didn't go very far. Of course, there's no out there because there's no me and you. There's no separation. Right? This is all imaginary. Mind comes in and draws lines and barriers and borders where there aren't any.
Is it a sense of expansion, Cindy? I mean, when I
It can
feel,
come with it. It can
when,
come with it only
when I
because
feel,
you've been contracted.
yeah, what I'm saying is when I let myself expand more, when I go out more, that's when I have
Do
more
you go
freedom.
somewhere? Do you actually go somewhere?
Or
Is that what happens? You got to be a lover of reality here.
okay,
What is actually going on? Otherwise, we make up stories. And we make up stories, we get all confused.
so it's
So when I get you to
more my,
blur the lines, I ask you these questions that blur the lines, right, between self and other. All of a sudden, you can't find yourself where you used to locate yourself before. You're like,
yeah,
and you might start to feel really expanded. It's like you're trying to find, where's my boundaries and borders again? And at some point, you don't find any.
that's it. The boundaries disappear more, or they go out more. I mean, that's when
Yeah.
I say that. Of course, I'm still feeling inside. I'm just feeling everywhere.
Is it possible that your boundaries change? Is there a boundary that has changed?
I think it's just more my perception of being my regular contracted sense of self,
Exactly.
and then my I call it, more expanded sense
You
of self.
open your
Opening.
attention.
That's what I meant.
And a sense of expansion comes with it in contrast to where you were contracted from before.
Yeah.
Usually we're contracted around this body mind, right? This is where we are. And it's very tight. It's very limited. It's very congested.
Yeah.
And then I say things like, can you separate my words from your hearing? And you're like, whoa. It's like, no. So you can use your direct senses to test your false ideas. You don't even know you have false ideas because you think they're real ideas. You think they're just real.
Yeah.
And so you got to start questioning everything. Like I started questioning everything, my hearing, my touch, my taste, my smell, everything, like moment to moment. That was a big part of what went on. And, there was one time I touched freezing rain on a tree and it cracked. And it was like the whole earth cracked. Like, it's like I cracked. It's like everything cracked. It was like this one crack right down into the bowels of the earth and everything. It's like, where, you try to say, where was that? You can't. There is no where. Mind likes to think there's a where for everything. This is how it
So you couldn't
separates.
even So you couldn't even then say that it was everywhere either? If you say it's not like...
Yeah. If there's no limits, how could it be, you know, really even anywhere or everywhere? Even everywhere has something beyond everywhere, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were a few experiences like that with the senses. You know, walking by a tree in the fall, that it was a bright red tree with dry leaves, and the wind came up like this, and it was like me, I went up there with it. That's how I would have explained it back then, because I thought I was down here, right? But it was heard and felt and sensed and everything. It just, I was like, oh my God! And mine could say, you know, I am the tree, but that's not it. It's still a sense of me that, you know, located somewhere that I am the tree. No, it's not like, because as soon as you say you're the tree, well, then you're not that tree. And then you're not that tree or that leaf or that rock, right? So it's not a case of there's a you that's trying to be everything. This you has to fall away. This you has to disappear. This you is unreal. And when it does, the boundaries go with it. So you can't become everything. You can't become one with something. You have to disappear. I mean, you don't even exist already, so you don't really even have to disappear. But you have to realize that you don't exist. That you, as you think you are, don't exist. Not absolutely. And this is where my beef is with a lot of non-dual teachings. They just like to say, you don't exist. You know? And then what happens, you know, what does mind do that? What does mind do with that? Oh, there's nobody here. Now you've become a somebody who's a nobody. Right? It's just...
It's a bit worse than somebody.
Yeah.
Certainly more annoying.
You know, if I say something that you don't like, well, just, you know, I'm just not even here, so it doesn't matter.
No.
Right? There's nobody here. That's your problem, not mine. Right? This is what happens in some of the... Ooh. It's
That would be called spiritual bypassing.
It's called spiritual distortion. You know, it's not that you don't exist. By God, if there's anything that exists, it's you. Okay? Just not as what you think you are. Okay? And for a while, maybe we do need to hear you don't exist. You got to take that seriously. Who you think you are does not exist. And when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, who do I think I am? Then, you know, had to really look at that closely and see, can you find that anywhere? You know, if every time you look, you can't find it, and I'll guarantee you that that's the case. If you do find it, you'll have it as a thought. Oh, that's what I am. You have to discern and go, oh, no, that's a thought. Okay? You cannot find you. Does that make sense that you can't find you? That would mean there's two of you. Okay? So you shouldn't be able to find you. If you find you, we got trouble. Okay? Houston, we have a problem. Okay? You cannot find you as an object. That does not mean you don't exist. The eye does not see itself. You know, the eyeball does not see the eyeball. How do you know there's an eyeball? You have seeing. A knife cannot cut itself. Does that mean there's no knife? If there's one thing you know you exist. But as what?
Yeah.
As who? And if you say me here, well, check. Look, really? Are you the body? They say that's me. You see any? Yeah. I don't know about you, but I can't really say that's me. Right? body has changed. It is nothing but constant change. Is that what you are? You are aware of this change.
Yeah.
Is the body I? That's the point. You have I. You have a sense of I. Is the body it? Or is the body what I knows? Like everything else I knows.
Mhm.
Find out who and what this I is. Find the source of this I. It's another way to say it. How do you do that? You have to follow it back. Like a dog on the scent of the owner. Follows the trail back. Usually we're going forward. I this and I that and I something. We're going outward, away. You need to go. You need to flip it around, go introspectively. Find the source of I. From where does this I arise? What is its true identity? What is its true nature? And I've kept you all up past our time, but nobody's turned into a pumpkin.
I think we've kept you, Cindy. You've been very generous. So.
As you can see, I love this. So
Thank you, Cindy. Yes.
Wonderful.
I just want
Thank
to
you,
ask,
Cindy.
any last burning questions?
Very good.
I can't go without asking.
Yes, I'm sure I can think of some, but
You
that's
could
okay.
think, I'm sure.
I
You
could think of some, yeah. Next time.
You might
Next
prefer
time.
you might prefer to just come to your senses.
Yes.
You notice the peace,
Absolutely.
you notice the spaciousness.
Mm,
And yes,
absolutely.
the question arises for next time. Feel free to bring it forward.
Yes, yes. It's
Okay.
amazing, though, the difference it makes between just listening to audios and videos and reading books to having a live session. It's just amazing.
That's good to hear, because the conversation goes on about the debate between private and group, and so
No. Well, I'd love to do the private, but I listened to your Q&A, and I was going to register to do private sessions with you. I actually live in Ottawa. I'm in the West End. Yeah, I'm not far from you, and I was hoping that but whatever will be, and everything's good.
we are going to do a live event in Ottawa, just so you know. So
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
Why
I'm
not?
so happy to hear that.
Why not?
Let me know, yeah.
What's that, Pierre?
I said, let me know. I'm interested. Yeah, I'll come from Montreal. Yeah.
Right on. Cool. Okay.
I'm from Montreal, yeah.
Okay.
Are you in Montreal too, Jane?
I'm not in Montreal, but I
you're
was born in
from. That's
Montreal.
right. Where are you now? I forgot.
Berkeley.
You're in Berkeley,
Oh,
right? You're the Canadian in Berkeley. Yeah. Oh, this is a Canadian call. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
California's calling me too, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you
Thank you, other guys.
Bye, guys.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Good
bye.
night.
Gals and
See
guys.
you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.